we're back.
Howdy, brother. You good?
I'm good, mate.
Good.
I'm good.
Glad. It makes me happy.
And we have people in the chat. Well, we've got the Uber way in the chat.
Sweet Jesus, thank you very much for being there.
We've been away, planning some stuff. We wanted to change the name because we realized. Well, you realized that it might have a conflict of interest with System
of a Down.
Of the
Down. Yeah. So, we weren't going to beat one of the biggest rock bands in the world on an algorithm. No, it just wasn't going to happen.
So it's System Shift.
Yeah, it's what we've done is we've took the original word and we've put like another word behind it, which means absolutely nothing. But if you search for it, it's at the top of the search. Genius.
Well, I don't know if it does mean nothing, Lee.
It absolutely means nothing. It absolutely means nothing.
Well, you seem to have shifted a system.
I have shifted a system. Very nice segue.
Which you told me to buy the Steam Deck. Well, I've gone blurred.
You're happy with it?
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We're going to start out with what you've been playing.
Oh yeah. Well, what have we? Yeah, because there've been loads that have been playing. I've literally just finished doing almost finished doing a mission on Hogwarts, like one of the trial things you've got to do. I'm loving Hogwarts. I think it's great. You're right. I'm now playing it in performance mode. Fairly upset to see, considering how beefy the Xbox Series X is. The disparity between the Series X and PlayStation 5 is massive.
What is the PlayStation 5 looking better?
It's not looking better. It's just performing better.
It's like that with a few games recently.
Yeah, even on performance mode on Xbox, it still dips into the 50s.
Atomic Hearts has got problems as well.
I played Atomic Hearts for a couple of hours, maybe slightly longer than that, maybe 3 hours. I enjoyed that, but then it got completely derailed by Hogwarts. Completely derailed. I feel sorry for Atomic Hearts because I don't know if I'll go back to it. Because I've got a funny feeling that's one of those games where once I've finished up with Hogwarts, if I go back to that, I'm going to go, what am I doing?
Yeah, I played a bit of Atomic Heart. I like the style of it. The whole that it's very BioShock.
It looks beautiful as well. It's a real looker of a game.
Well, yeah, but it's simply done. It's not. There's not. I wouldn't say there's a huge jump. Just how they've done it, they've polished it up well.
Oh, I think it's a huge jump. I think that looks next gen. I think.
You think?
Yeah. I bet that looks. I bet.
There's no modes.
Can you play it on Xbox One? Or is it next gen only?
No, I think it's multi-platform. Pretty sure it's multi-platform.
I bet that runs like absolute dog shit on original consoles.
It probably does. But yeah,
there's some nice texture work in it. That's what I like about it.
I've had a bit of a dabble with that. I do. I like it, but the game that I've been playing mainly, I haven't been playing too much Hogwarts recently.
No,
because I've been playing a game called Enderroll, which is if you own Skyrim.
Sounds like something you take for depression.
Yeah. If you own Skyrim Special Edition on Steam, you could download Enderroll for free, which is basically a mod, but it's on its own. It's its own game with achievements and everything, and it is better than Skyrim.
That's not hard.
Skyrim's a great game.
Not now.
No.
I think okay. I never really got the Skyrim buzz, to be perfectly honest.
Did you
played it. No, I played it for a bit. I kind of fell off it. I think mainly because when Skyrim came out, the Bethesda engine was already annoying me.
Right.
How combat always seemed like clunky
clunky, yeah.
And yeah,
It's still like that in this. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not amazing, but it just. Skyrim's got a lot of go fetch this, go do that, go pick these flowers, give them to that old lady,
Yeah.
and then kill her. This is. It seems to have more meaningful story to it, but it's fully voice acted. They've done such a tremendous job on it. It's insane. I've been playing that mainly. I think I've probably put more hours. I've probably put more hours actually on the PC, but I've been playing it on the Steam Deck because it does work on there as well. And it runs great actually on there. There's some of the buttons though where I can't get to work, which I don't really need, but I could do with figuring out how to do it. But that's what if you own a Steam Deck, that's what you've got to do. Sometimes you got to compromise with stuff.
Is it not like a community one?
There will be. I can never work that shit out though, Lee. You have to. You can't show me, can you? You can't go on anymore.
I can tell you, it's dead easy. Just go into your control settings, like on the sidebar.
All right, and is there something that says community?
Yeah, you can select like the community profiles from there. That's all I've ever done. Like I know people make their own controller profiles. I've never been one for that because I don't think people appreciate sometimes the thought that goes into controller layouts for games. It's the as far as like the most used things you're going to do. So if you've got a thumb, you can quickly switch between the things you're supposed to be switching between. It's not just like, oh, we've got 8 different things. We can just put it on 8 different buttons and we've won. And I know for a fact I'm not as good as most people that are good at doing that sort of thing. So if you go onto like the community profiles thing and like there's one there that's been downloaded by 7,000 people, and then there's one there from Downey Jake that's been fucking downloaded by 2 people, I'm gonna take the guy that the top one. Thanks very much.
Oh, mute. Yeah, I know what you mean. That's what I need to check that out because that. For some games on the Steam Deck will make the difference for me actually playing because some of them I've just started to play them and thought I can't work this out. So yeah, but anyway, you sold yours. You got rid.
Out then.
Did I blow your ears out?
Yeah.
It's this fucking mic. Honestly, there's something wrong with it.
No, it's because you've got it set so you can speak back when you sat backwards. Then you lean into it and you're dead loud.
I need restraints.
Stop moving. Just stop moving. Just stop. Just stop moving. Just don't move your body. Just don't move your body. That's exactly what I say to people when I have sex with them. Just don't move your body. Just stay there.
Oh dear me. So you've got rid. You've sold it. It's gone.
Lost 30 quid, which isn't bad. Don't mind doing that. Had fun with it for a bit. I found myself just playing on my Xbox more. And I noticed the thing. I could see it. I could see what was going to happen to that. I was playing it for a little bit. I was downloading games. I was picking it up. I was playing it for like 10 minutes, then putting it back down the coffee table for like 4 days. And I thought, if I keep this for another 2 months, this is going in a drawer. And then I'm going to pull it out in like a year's time and go, I should have sold you when you were actually worth something. So I sold it.
So what? Because you were in love with that thing at one point.
I still think it's great. I still think it's great. It's the best handheld of all time, like without a shadow of a doubt. But I could see that I can see the writing on the wall for like I'm not a retro gamer, yeah. I'm the same with everything. Like I would prefer to listen to new bands than old bands. I've always been this way of like I want to see what the next thing is, and sometimes that means what you're doing isn't as good as what was the last week, but at least you're seeing new stuff. I will always, if I listen to a new band I've never heard of, I will always listen to their latest album. I won't go back and to listen to the first one unless I really, really like them. And I saw what was going on with Hogwarts with performance. I saw what was going on with what was the other game? New game that came out. I can't remember where it was, but it was like sticking everything on low settings and you were just scraping 30 FPS.
Was it Returnal?
Yes, it was. And
Returnal, is that space one, isn't it?
There was Returnal, and I don't know. There's been a couple of things that have gone this way with it. And the worrying thing there
Dead
is
Space as well. Dead Space.
That was the other one.
That was a dead mess.
Yeah, and I know they get patched, and they're kind of almost maybe there to some extent, but like we should be, because these consoles have been out so long, but we're still not through the multi-platform phase of this generation. We're still splitting things between Xbox One and PS4, for instance. So things are still a little bit hampered. I'll be interested to see how Hogwarts runs on last gen, because that's not out for last gen yet, is it? No.
Be interested to see how it runs on the Switch.
It's never coming out on Switch. Oh, mind you, it might be coming out on Switch too, but there'll be a leak for that for the end of the year, hasn't there?
It has, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe it's going to come out on Switch too.
You think you'll system shift one of those?
Maybe. It depends what comes out for it. I've got a problem with Nintendo. I love Nintendo games. I love Mario games. Let's face it, there will be a 3D Mario game on it. So unless there's some sort of magic that I can do with my laptop, I'll probably have to buy a Switch to play that. Yeah. Same with Breath of the Wild 2 as well. That I think we can pretty much nail down that looks like it's going to be, if not a launch game, a launch window for Switch 2 now.
I actually think the game's backwards compatible.
Oh no, I'm sure it will be, but it's going to run like absolute dog shit on the old one.
Do you know that cartridge is the higher cartridge that they're using for that? And that's got a higher price tag on it. I think the reason why that is
nonsense.
I think that is a possible cross-jet. It's a game that will, when you put that, I think that's one of the first that when you put that game, I think the other Switch games will work in the Switch too. But I think,
but it's a game that they're using the old assets from the last game.
I think Tears of the Kingdom, when you put that in a Switch 2, you're gonna get like 4K,
maybe,
60, whatever.
But it'll just look like Breath of the Wild. Yeah. It might be higher resolution. It's about, like I say, they're still using the old assets and stuff like that. There's nothing new in the box. They've got a game there that everybody wants to buy. Nintendo have seen Microsoft and Sony up in their game prices to like the 70 quid mark, and they've thought, how can we fucking get in on this 70 quid action? And they've gone, we'll do it with Zelda first.
See, that's another thing, Lee, that when it comes to Xbox, that is why also you love your Xbox. Did you not try the cloud gaming on Steam Deck?
I couldn't. I don't know whether it's just like my internet is 100 up and 100 down, 30 up, and that's the highest you can get on the Isle of Man, unless you go for like the more like enterprise levels of internet. It's the more work
Starlink.
level. Yeah, or not Starlink necessarily.
Starlink's fast.
I looked at Starlink because you can get Starlink in the Isle of Man, but it's still, even I think it's like £80 a month, isn't it, for Starlink?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive. Well, to be fair, I pay 50. Yeah. Well,
I probably do now. It's just gone up this month.
Yeah.
Richard Branson.
So
you would have thought that Richard Branson would have been happy with all the profit he's made from Branston Pickle.
You would be. What a bastard. if it makes you feel any better, would you like to know how much I pay for a mobile contract as well for 50 gig of data and not unlimited data? I pay £50 a month for that too.
Jesus. Wow.
Yep.
You really do live on a special little island, don't you?
We get absolutely fingered on our utilities because there's so few. There's no one to choose from. There's just single things. But anyway, sorry, I digress. Nintendo Switch, expensive games. You were saying about my Xbox. I'm enjoying playing it. Oh, did I not try the cloud game?
Well, I think it's such a perfect thing.
I really felt the input lag, and I still feel the input lag. Yeah, and it ran fine, but there's just I'm not sure. I notice things like that really easily. It's in the same way as that if a film's slightly off, on the
I can't do
audio, but even just a fraction, it really winds me. I can't do it. It's one of the big problems I had with like electric drums when I was sorting electric drums out. The now and again you would get like a tiny little bit of latency somewhere, and I go, whoa, can't be dealing with this. But yeah, it was a shame, but I just don't think it's going to be able to run the games I actually want to play on it.
So that's it for you. You want next gen experience. You want,
and do you know what? I think I know it'll never happen, but it's what if you had like Steam on Xbox, for instance, I wouldn't mind. But the fact that, or if there was a Game Pass thing, where if crossplay covered Game Pass too, if crossplay covered like Steam too, so you buy it for 70 quid on your Xbox, but you get Hogwarts as well on Steam, that'd be fine. I'd do that. That'd be great.
In an ideal world,
yeah. But I mean, because I really wanted to get Hogwarts on Steam Deck. It seemed like a perfect game for it. But seeing how it it doesn't run great on Xbox Series X, and I mean, have you done you've got to do like a little siege on like a goblin castle, and you go up in a spire, and that takes you to a trial sort of thing?
No, but thanks for spoiling it.
That's not a spoiler, but it's like the whole room's bathed in light. I'm playing it on performance mode, and you walk in, you go, "Whoa, we're in the 40s here," and that's on performance.
I think you've got to play that game on performance mode. I tried it on ray tracing, and it was just moving like shit.
You've got 120 hertz tally, haven't you?
Yeah.
So you've got extra options on yours.
Yeah, I know. I did try that, but I went back to performance.
But apparently, the best way to play that, if you've got 240 hertz,
fidelity mode. Fidelity.
No, there's a balance. You've got a balanced mode as well. Yeah, play it on balance and cap it at 40. Apparently,
you can change the frame rate cap.
If you've got 120 hertz tally, you can't do it with 60 hertz TVs.
I tried it at 120 hertz, and the game looks quite blurry. So it moves amazing, but
yeah, it's only at 1080p for the 120 hertz, and it only like barely hits 100 frames a second, and you're actually most of the time sitting at 80.
I think 100 frames per second for me. The only thing you're going to really need that for is like Call of Duty games and stuff like that.
I think so. Well, even then, I don't think you need it. It's the same as I think it depends who you are. I've thought this about buying expensive controllers. I love the Series X controller. I think the D-pad's nice and clicky. Buttons feel good. It's a nice weight. All that sort of stuff. It hasn't got flappy paddles on the back, and you can't take things on and off it. But the extra things, I'm not good enough at video games to make use of these things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not good enough at first-person shooters that playing something at 60 hertz or 100 hertz is going to make any difference to me getting absolutely annihilated. I just see more frames of me getting annihilated.
I will say this: if I could be bothered when I go to bed and stuff like that, I would probably like to play the Steam Deck with the Xbox controller because I don't like the Steam Deck's controller. I don't like the sticks. I don't like the sticks.
I think that's what fucked the Steam Deck for me as well, because let's face it, I was perfectly happy with my Steam Deck until I got the Xbox. And when I started, because I had like an Xbox One X, which I'd had since it came out. And even that, I've noticed now that on my second controller, which my son uses now and again, when I've had to use it, that feels a bit mushy and used now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was getting a new controller in my hand that made me realize just how rubs the Steam Deck controller was.
Yeah, it's
nice size.
It is. I hope if they do a Switch 2, they make it
Steam
chunky.
Deck size. Yeah. Well, if a Steam Deck 2
they're not going to do that. It's for kids, but they should
have
the option.
It depends
they
what
should have the option of chunky Joy-Cons.
But the reason is you can't have, if they're good. The next Switch can't be less powerful than a Steam Deck. It can't be.
I totally agree, and I think that's why they probably held it back.
So I think it will have to be a bit bigger, because that's the thing. You've got a pissy little fan in the Switch. Mm-hmm. That you can hear it now on my Switch Lite, where when it starts to get like a bit of work involved or it's a bit warm, and you can hear that poor little thing working as hard as it can. So I think it's going to have to be a bit bigger. I'm still not 100% convinced we won't see a console from them. I think Nintendo are that wild and that gangster and out there. You could see a Switch 2, and or you could see a console come out from Nintendo, and then they follow that up with a Switch 2.
I think if they do a console, they would need that console to compete with the Xbox and PlayStation, because the Switch is its own thing. It's not real. I wouldn't say it's a competitor.
But you've got a Nintendo account now. So if you buy your Nintendo games on your if they had like a Steam Deck type console, a handheld console, and a block box you put onto your TV, all of a sudden you can play Mario Odyssey 2 on two different things.
I will say this: if Nintendo if they do come out with the big balls, and there's a big reveal, and they do a fucking amazing console that is as powerful as an Xbox Series X, maybe even more powerful. They do that what they did with the N64, and they make it.
And the Wii U.
Yep.
The Wii U came out at the wrong time, but that was more powerful than the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360.
It was, but then you had literally the next gen was literally just there, right?
That's what they're going to be doing here, though.
Very true.
Because we are going to be talking about next gen upgrades soon.
So they released this amazing console, and at the same time, they show the Switch 2.
Mm.
So they said the Switch 2 is going to come out in blah blah blah, but this is the console. You are going to be able to play everything that you can play on this. You will be able to play on the Switch 2.
Yeah.
I think that's a game changer.
I do. Or the only other thing I thought was, especially now everything's USB-C, and USB-C is just like ultra handy for things. I don't know whether it'd be too expensive to do, but a Switch 2 where the dock has an integrated graphics card in it. So when you dock your Switch 2, you're not using the onboard graphics, you're using the graphics card that's in the dock. That's a good idea. That would be a great idea.
I think that'd be a good idea when they do the Steam Deck too, because that's what I mean. Well, when they do
Did
the
I say
Steam.
Did I say Steam Deck 2? Sorry, I meant Switch 2.
No, you did say Switch
Oh,
2.
sorry.
But I think that would be a good idea when they do the Steam Deck 2 to make the dock something that's going to make it into a bit more of a beastie PC.
It's not even the dock, really. All they need to do is, if they'd have put a Thunderbolt port on it instead of USB-C, you could have done it yourself. That's the issue. Is it's because it's just USB-C and it's not Thunderbolt. You can't just plug in a external GPU. If it had been a Thunderbolt port on any of these things, like the Razer external GPU or the Blackmagic ones, thing like that, you could have done that.
Do you reckon you'll be tempted to get, because I think it's inevitable we are going to get a Steam Deck 2.
Probably not.
It's going to be, what I've heard, it's going to be the same graphics. They've said it's going to be literally the same thing, just better battery life, and they'll probably put a better screen on it. But they want developers just to keep the same thing for a while.
I don't think it'll work because it's not a platform. I don't think they're going to sell enough Steam Decks to compete with consoles and PCs. So I'm sure, like, you'll get developers like CD Projekt Red, which put the Steam Deck settings into the game, which worked really well for Steam Deck. The Cyberpunk 2077, especially when
I've not tried that.
Especially when they updated FSR, that looked really good on Steam Deck. It worked really well and it looked really good. But I don't see those setting things. It's just a guy sitting down with that knows what he's doing and moving some sliders around. He's just doing what you can do yourself in the graphic settings. That's just what they think is optimal. You're not going to get games solely developed for Steam Deck because it's too small a platform. And if they run old hardware as well, I really do think it's in trouble if they bring a Steam Deck 2 out, which has got the same GPU in it. That's wild. Because I mean, there's other portable PCs now, which
you've got the Ioneo 2, I
Pro,
think
yeah. But whichever one of those Ioneos, that when you pump the power draw up on that, I'm sure they were playing like Spider-Man at sort of almost lock 60 and on medium to high settings, and that's crazy.
Spider-Man runs really well on the Steam Deck, though, doesn't it?
At 30 FPS, it does.
But on the Ioneo, you can play it at 60 on the.
Yeah.
It's so impressive what handhelds can do these days. I mean,
don't get me wrong. You've got to bump the power draw up to like 35 watts or whatever it is, so you can probably play it for like 20 minutes, but you can play it. But that's the thing, though. I used to have my Steam Deck plugged in most of the time anyway, playing on the couch, so the battery thing never really affected me.
Yeah, the battery thing's not affecting me. I can see how if anybody's on the go and on the movement, but I think if somebody's on the move, that is a big piece of kit to take with you. I mean,
yeah, I remember.
Massive.
Yeah, it never felt quite as enticing to take with me as my Switch did.
I can imagine a Switch Lite would be quite a nice thing just to take out with you.
Not even Switch Lite. I remember going on holiday to Germany. I chucked my Switch in the bag.
I've taken my Switch to Spain. It's been great.
And I thoroughly enjoyed that. That was one thing. The only time I ever really did it was on the plane, where I got the kickstand out on the Switch and took the controllers off it and sat in the plane playing playing Mario Kart like a proper console. It was good. There's more chance of me buying a Switch 2 than a Steam Deck 2.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to get a Switch 2 because my little boy will he'll have his eye on it. He's got to that age now where
Arthur's going. I think that that'll be the first console Arthur wants to buy is a Switch when he sees that. I mean, I hope it's like I hope it falls in line with the normal Nintendo stuff because we've got. I still think the Xbox Series X, for instance, is great value. Like 450 quid for a mid.
At the moment, it's going to go up.
Yeah, but mid to high end gaming PC is what you're getting for your money there. Yeah, it's good. What I enjoyed about the Switch was I remember because I bought a Switch day one. I got like when the Switch came out. Oddly enough, I never didn't get on. Like I always played my Switch docked because I got rid of my other Switch and got and I ended up getting the Switch Lite when Zelda, the Game Boy remake they did, whichever one that was.
Is it Link's Awakening?
Yeah. I bought this like this because I'd already got rid of my Switch. I bought a Switch Lite just to play that game, and it was a good
game.
It is a great game. My favorite, secretly my favorite Zelda that's on the Switch. But the second favorite Zelda, because Link to the Past is better than all of them. But I played my Switch mostly docked, and I never didn't get on with having the controllers in the little plastic thing. You know, it seemed really small and stuff, but I always found it really fine to play.
You mean plugging it into that little adapter thing that you got? Yeah, it was comfortable.
Yeah. One thing I do want Switch to have, and this was a big problem for me with Switch being a driving game fan. We need to get rid of those shoulder buttons and get some nice analog up and downy throttles on it, because it was I one of my favorite racing games is Race Driver Grid, or where it is I can't remember what it's called now, and that was on Steam Deck. I thought, great, I'll play right through this, and it's nearly impossible to play racing games properly on that thing. It's just awful.
What, on the Steam Deck?
No, on the Switch.
What about Mario Kart?
Well, it's different because that's built to just press a button as a throttle, but you can't modulate it. You don't need to modulate it. There's more chance. And what I enjoyed, this is what I was going to say about buying the Switch day one, was how much was that? About 250 quid when it came out.
Yeah, it was a steal.
Yeah, and I don't want to sound all like I've got like more money to throw away than sense, because I really don't. I'm next to skinned all the time, but just over 200 quid is just approaching that thing where I wouldn't call it an impulse buy. It's not like you're walking down the town and you just want to drop 250 quid to buy something, but it's one of those ones where I can't buy it this month, but I can buy it next month.
You can save for it.
Yeah. And like, unless you're in real problems. If you are, I'm terribly sorry. I hope you don't feel angry with me saying this. Most people can do a couple of hundred quid over a month.
Yeah. Like, and if you can't, then things will get better.
Yeah,
I have every faith.
If you can't, go and watch that episode of South Park where they go into Kenny's house and all they've got is a NES in there as the games console, and Cartman starts singing In the Ghetto to him, because that episode's for you.
My mum and dad, I mean, I won't
say... Don't gloss over that. It's hilarious, that episode. Hilarious.
I've not seen it.
Have you not?
No, I was never really a South Park guy.
They asked to play where the PlayStation is, and he's just got a NES like under his TV and comments like, In the Ghetto.
I have heard friends say In the Ghetto. Never got the joke. But yeah, I mean, my parents growing up, I mean, we were like, we were comfortable, but I never kind of got consoles day one. I always got I asked for a PlayStation. I've told you this story. I got a Philips CDI just because my dad went
swing and a miss.
Oh, fucking
hell. I wouldn't mind the CDI. It was well more expensive. Oh,
it's a bag of shit.
My mum and dad bought me a 3DO.
Yes, you said you enjoyed it as well.
I did. I love my 3DO, but I only realized the other day because I was watching a documentary about it. That motherfucker was £750.
Just buy you a PlayStation.
PlayStation wasn't out. It was
Was
before
it not?
PlayStation. No.
Was the 3DO before PlayStation?
First CD based 32-bit console.
The Philips
That's
3DO.
but that's why it was wild. Like when the 3DO came out, the like I was playing on like my 3DO and a SNES. So the jump between a 3DO and Mega Drive and SNES was just insane. And I remember there was a video shop that I used to go in to rent SNES games, and I went downstairs and I heard Street Fighter, and the first thing that got me was that sounds good. Like, that sounds really good. I know it's Street Fighter. And then I looked behind the counter because I knew the guy that was in there reasonably well because I used to go in and get them. Looked like he was the spitting image of Stone Cold Steve Austin, spitting image of him. And I was like, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm playing Street Fighter 2." And he was dead old to me, but in hindsight, he was probably about 18. And I said,
"What?" And he was playing that on. Was that the 3DO?
Yeah. And it was the best home console version of Street Fighter 2 is on the 3DO. And it was nearly arcade perfect.
I can remember this is from going from a St. Clair Spectrum to an Amiga 1200. And then when you heard something like a PlayStation and you heard the sound of that thing, or Philips CDI or 3DO, it wasn't just the graphics. You're right. You could go.
Did you skip the consoles, the cartridge consoles? Did you go from like the old PCs to PlayStation? You didn't have like a Mega Drive or anything?
I never had. I had a Amiga 1200. That was like my Super Nintendo. Like all my mates had Super Nintendos. I had Amiga 1200, which was some bloody good games on there.
Yeah. There's a good Batman game on the Amiga, wasn't there?
So many good games on the Amiga. You just go to the market when you're a kid and pick up a load of games off some dodgy guy.
It was great, wasn't it? I remember. I can't even remember what it was. It might have been an Amstrad, and we went to a car boot sale, and I don't know how much it cost or how we had it, but we had 2 boxes, cardboard boxes we brought home with us. One was full of cassette games. To the kids watching, that's like the audio cassettes you get at gigs now for like, because it's all cool and retro to get cassettes now for some reason, even though they're terrible for audio. Imagine that, but you have to put it in your console and wait 35 minutes for it to load. And it sounds like Optimus Prime fingering a metal chihuahua when it's doing it. But we got all these games and a console, and for like buttons, I didn't know how to use it, and then I don't even understand how I worked out that you had to type like run in and to run the game. Wild times.
I did when you asked. I had briefly. I think the first cartridge console I had was a Super Nintendo, but I think I got it quite late in its lifespan because I can remember quite kind of after maybe a year or so. I mean, the memory's not that great. I moved and got I think I got it day one, the Nintendo 64, because I saved for that myself because I was old enough. I'm 42 now, so that must have been. I think I must have been about 18 or something like that.
Yeah, I think I was about 15 when it came out.
But the jump in graphics from the Super Nintendo to the Nintendo 64 was fucking insane.
It was insane, but I think the jump between the N64 and PlayStation was big as well.
What you mean between the PlayStation 1 and the N64?
Yeah, because you look at games like I remember, because me and my mates, we all bought PlayStations, and my another mate, Andrew, he was like, no, I'm getting Ultra 64 because I hadn't been called N64 then. It was still running on the Ultra 64 now.
Ultra 64, yeah.
Yeah, and he pre-ordered it. He was told you could get 2 games. You could get Pilot Wings and Mario 64. And
Pilot Wings, amazing.
And we were like, stay going, right, whatever you say, we're going to play Wipeout and Crash Bandicoot. You know, you wait then. And I remember being like around my friend's Ashley's house. We were playing Crash, and that maybe a bit of Demolition Derby as well. And then Andrew got his N64, so we all went round Andrew's house to see what was going on there. And he stuck Mario 64 in, and there was like 5 lads stood behind him playing N64 with us looking at each other, going, "We have made a terrible error." Because it was just the world you could do, like I mean, Resident Evil, when that came out, I remember thinking to myself, right, actually, the PlayStation could still do cool stuff because Resident Evil looks awesome. And then you go and play it, and then you go, and even then you knew, oh, the controls are rubbish.
Tank controls.
Yeah. And then you play Mario 64, it's like, oh my God, this is like butter. It's great.
Yeah.
There
was something about the style though between obviously the PlayStation's graphics, you know, that was 32-bit, was that? And the Nintendo was 64-bit.
Yeah.
But the Nintendo was using like silicon graphics though, wasn't it? So it was using those kind of like soft,
large pixels they were using, or whatever you called them. I forgot what the thing is. So you got like big clear images, but it was all very samey, wasn't it? Because that was where.
But it couldn't do cutscenes.
It couldn't though, because you were running cartridge. It couldn't do sound very well either.
So the PlayStation had for the things like your Final Fantasies and things like that had those tremendous cutscenes, but the game was pixelated when you got into the actual gameplay.
It had a charm though, didn't it? That, but that's why they did it, didn't they? That was supposed to come out in N64, the Final Fantasy. But
was it?
Yeah, something to do with the disc drive. I think, you know, the N64 disc drive that sort of flopped.
Right.
I think it was supposed to be something to do with that.
I remember that thing that went underneath it.
Yeah. One of my favorite things. I miss the like Wild West feeling of consoles back then. Like my N64, like, for full disclosure, my favorite console of all time. Like that, I've got so many happy memories of playing the multiplayer there, of like working weird contraptions up so nobody could see their quarter of the screen playing GoldenEye. I remember
I did the same.
Yeah, one of my favorite action adventure games was the Star Wars Shadow of the Empire. Have you played that?
Yes, I did.
So good.
Beautiful.
That was when that came out, that's when I got an N64. That was the first game I got with N64.
It was the first level where you were taking down the ats, wasn't it? With the
yes,
and you were doing the thing where you tied the legs up, and those graphics back, they probably look like shit back now.
Mm-hmm.
But back then, that thing looked amazing.
It looked amazing, and I don't think people that play retro games that were around at the time, I don't think they appreciate that it was really weird to get a game which did different things. You know, like flying levels, and then like full on third person adventure. Yeah, it was great. It was just such a good game. But yeah, sorry, I forgot what I was going to say. I've just got lost in N64 times. But yeah, it was a great console, and that's kind of I know it didn't work for them, but people like think the N64 was a failure, but I don't. It wasn't a failure because
it wasn't. It was just overshadowed by the PlayStation 1.
It still hung out through the whole generation. It wasn't like the Dreamcast was a genuine failure. You know, that didn't work. Again, though,
not a bad machine at all.
First console I ever bought day one.
Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Like, the graphics on that were insane at the time.
Yeah, it was like having an arcade machine in your house. And then you could, when your mum and dad went out, you could plug it into the internet and download porn pictures, and then take it out and run them. I don't know, this hypothetical situation, obviously, but what, because you don't understand what the internet is, or the fact that you're charged per minute and it's like a premium rate phone call, you run up a bill somewhere in the region of £285.
All just to shake your fingers. Did is the Steam Deck the fastest you've ever got rid of a console? I say console, but it's not. It is. It's a pocket PC console, whatever.
A really good question. I think it is. And do you know the weird thing about that is? I really like it as well, but it's the quickest I've ever got rid of a console. I think my least favorite console of all time is a Switch.
Really?
Yeah. I love Mario Odyssey. I love Mario Kart. I loved Splatoon when I was playing it. I love Mario in 3D World. Mario in 3D World is my favorite Mario game, probably ever. But after I bought that, it hasn't been. They haven't put Nintendo games out enough. You know, it's fine now when you look back at it. You know, you look back and you've got like Mario Odyssey and Luigi's Mansion and Zelda and and it's great. There's a load of Nintendo games you can go and play now if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I remember having that thing for a year with Zelda, going, where's the next Nintendo game then, lads? This is what I bought it for. I haven't bought it to play like 15.
I've not bought it to play Witcher 3.
No, but I haven't bought it to play like 15 different kinds of mobile pool game.
Yeah.
You know, and that's, I think it was on Tech Review USA. Yeah, but I think Tech Review USA turned around and said, look, this is going to be a great indie game machine. And at that point I thought, oh shit. Because I don't like indie games. My thing of doing it is I played 8-bit platformers. I played 8-bit platformers when that was all there was to play. I don't want to play them anymore. I want to play big, deep, rich, open world RPGs and stuff like that. I want new things. I don't want to play what I've already played in a different skin. Fuck Shovel Knight.
And you're so glad that you never played Fallout New Vegas.
I know. Yeah, I'd never have got through that, mate.
I can't believe they're remaking it.
Yeah, is it going to be a remake, or is it just going to be
a
re-release with the PC settings and a couple of mods stuck on it? I can't see them.
I think they'll I don't know. I mean, how easy would it be to take the assets from Fallout New Vegas and do something with the Fallout 4 engine?
It's the same engine, isn't it?
Is it?
So.
I don't think it is.
I think, you know, because that was one of the big problems with Fallout 4 is because people were saying, yeah, it kind of looks nice, but it doesn't look much different to Skyrim. It was just a slightly improved version.
When if Fallout New Vegas is not going to be a thing, you're going to have to play it at some point.
I absolutely won't play the old version of it. I just won't.
Stunning game.
I just won't. I will burn my computer first.
Have you played the Outer Worlds?
Yeah, I like it.
So
I stopped playing it towards the end though, because I got myself in I accidentally started beef with the big.
Don't tell me, because I've only touched the sides.
Right. Can I give you some advice then if I can't tell you?
Actually, no, you can tell me. It's content in it. Just tell me.
Yeah, right. I'll
forget.
Whatever you do, don't do what I usually do. I'm a bastard in video games. Like I'm really nice. A mass murdering psychopath is how I play video games. Like on that Hogwarts, I can't get the dark art stuff enough. Like, you know, make me a villain.
You want to be a Jedi?
Oh yeah. If there's a mod out there that lets me kill the children, let me do it. But the that was a joke. It was a joke. YouTube.
That's a joke, YouTube. I was about to say that.
So that's how I played Outer Wilds, and I had a good time walking through basically everywhere I went, murdering anything that said hello to me or raised a gun at me. And that's
so you must have messed up the campaign.
To the point because I got to the end part and everyone hated me so much. I just couldn't get through the end level. I just couldn't I couldn't progress far enough because I had to fight my way forward and it was just impossible. So just be nice. Just be nice to people.
Well, what I was going to say is, and I've always picked that up and put it down, picked it up and put it down, restarted it, put it down. They've just it's just announced that the remaster's coming very soon.
A remaster of that?
Yeah, for the Series X.
Oh, get fucked!
It's gonna be freely.
I don't care. I want I want number 2.
Number 2's coming, but
it's like it's not even an old game. It's this. It's like it's cross-gen. You can already play it.
You can, but it doesn't run amazing.
It's fine. I played it. I played it on the Series X as soon as it came out.
You didn't get 60 frames per second on the motherfucker.
It doesn't matter.
I love my 60. You telling me that Hogwarts is not better in 60 frames?
I can barely notice it.
Like you've been playing The Witcher 3. I bet you play that in bloody ray tracing, don't you?
I stopped playing it. I just it's such a weird thing with Witcher. That was it took me a year to finish that game.
Yeah,
dipping in and out of it, and I loved every minute of it. I still think I did the best. I did that game the best way. I stuck it on like the story mode, like the easiest level, and I just murked my way through it. And the reason I think easy mode is the best way to play The Witcher is because I don't feel anybody should be able to beat The Witcher.
You just think he should be an animal.
Yeah, he just rolls through town, and if he doesn't shag you, he cuts your head off. Sometimes both in the wrong order. I'm
looking forward to the Witcher 1 remake.
I'm looking forward to that. I tried playing Witcher 1 years ago, and it was just a bit clunky for me. Yeah, it was just a bit too clunky. Same with Witcher 2. I'll play that. See, that's fine. That's an old video game. But this whole remastering games, which are like not even, I mean, it's a generation old. Outer Wilds.
Dead Space remake was good.
Unless it's not a remaster. If Outer Wilds isn't actually a full-on remaster and it's just like now we're going to launch it with better frame rate, and
I think that's what it is,
and the PC high settings or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm
hoping that's what it is. I'm hoping like for the PlayStation guys, they're not going to charge them for it. If they already own it.
Oh no! Well, I mean, we've got Game Pass, so I hope they charge them double.
Until you buy your PlayStation with your Steam money.
No, I've already spent the Steam money. But are we going to talk about buying a PlayStation? Are we going to talk about how wrong I was a couple of episodes ago?
Well, what we got 5 minutes before. Well, who's timing? But
yeah. Right. I the other day was going around YouTube. For people don't really need to know this, but I got rid of live television. I don't watch live television. So what that means is on my television, I have Netflix, Amazon, and YouTube. So that means I watch a lot of YouTube, like a lot of inhuman amount of YouTube. I watch YouTube shows like normal people watch television channels. And I was going through the gaming stuff, and there was this thing that I had a big 9 out of 10 for Gran Turismo VR, and I started watching videos of Gran Turismo VR, and I know I said that it's too expensive. The PlayStation VR is too expensive, and it is too expensive. But I'm gonna need that, Ollie. I'm gonna
need that in your life.
Need that PlayStation VR, and because over there, my room's not dirty. Over there is a Fanatec CSL Elite wheel, which is the one which is PlayStation compatible. I'm going to put that in the corner of my living room. I'm going to get a nice seat for it. That's where the VR headset's going to live. I'm going to sort the HDMI cables and stuff out so I never have to move it. I'm going to tuck it away in the corner, and it's going to be my little VR racing thing. I'm sure I'll play other games on it as well, but that's what it's going to be for.
Well, I'll add this to your wish list as well. So F1 2023.
I know that's going to be VR compatible, isn't it?
It 100% is on Steam. But if it is on Steam, I can't see why they can't do that on the PlayStation. And you're an F1 guy, so
big F1 guy. Big F1 guy.
Have you seen F1's just come on Games Pass?
Just downloaded it before. I had it on Steam Deck. I was playing that on Steam Deck. I'm looking forward to playing on console, but it looks really nice on the console. I haven't gone into a race or anything like that yet. I've literally just downloaded it. I'll probably play a little bit of it.
So you're gonna buy your PlayStation? Are you gonna buy it with the VR at the same time?
Yes.
So you're just going total balls deep.
I can't afford it. I'm gonna do it on Very and just like work out in my head.
Very's my best friend.
Yeah, do it over a year. Like if I get it now, I can probably box it off in like 10 months, something like that. But yeah, that's the plan. I saw that and thought I because I've wanted to dabble with GT a little bit anyway. Like the online looks really good. You know, I follow a couple of the like professional YouTubers that do the like just play GT. I love watching some of that. I was going to buy just a PlayStation 4 and just hook it up with my racing wheels, like a little GT sim rig, but that VR looks something special.
Yeah, I mean, I played. I can't remember which one I played on the PlayStation 4 VR.
GT on PlayStation 4 VR was awful.
It was only one level, wasn't it?
It was one track, and it had
racing one car.
Yeah, and it had a really weird thing where you felt like a massive man in a tiny car.
Yeah, and there was a really good one. Wipeout was amazing.
Wipeout was incredible. I wish they'd done Drive Club.
Yeah,
because Drive Club, that was a game.
Did you play? Was it Dirt?
Which one?
The VR one.
Don't think so.
It was good. The graphics were terrible, but it was actually pretty good in VR. Again, though, you did feel like a big man in a small car.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be that way either. That I think that was a. Excuse me. I think that was a result of resolution. Someone might be able to wise.
But you didn't get that feeling in Wipeout. You felt like that. You felt like that thing was massive, and you were a small man inside.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I think that's because they did that cleverly because I've got a funny feeling it's field of view, which is why it worked, because they had such a narrow field of view in the headset. Maybe it's because Wipeout was so dark. They didn't have to try and render around you because it could just be kind of blacked out. Maybe it was something to do with that. But yeah, like Wipeout was really good. That's probably my favorite way I've ever played Wipeout was in VR.
Are you waiting? Are you waiting for the Slim before you jump into?
As soon as there's no PSVR on Very at the minute, you can't buy them. If you could buy PSVR on Very, I'd have already ordered it. Like the decision has been made. Like,
isn't that interesting that you can't get the thing, and we thought they're not going to be able to, from what they were saying.
No, it's not sold out. It's not available. They haven't got it listed.
Oh, right. So you can't actually get it.
Yeah. So it could actually be something even worse than that. It could be the fact that just simply haven't made enough to give to like all the retailers, because that retailer just hasn't. I'm sure it will, because oddly enough, that's where I bought a PlayStation VR from last time. But yeah,
I'm gonna have to join. I'm gonna have to join you. I'm gonna have to join you.
Looks incredible. Like, really, I love VR. I really do. The do you know what I wish they'd done though? And this is one of the things that really annoys me with what PlayStation did with PlayStation Home. They were so ahead with PlayStation Home. That was such an original
they scrapped
concept.
it, didn't they?
Imagine what would have happened if they'd had PlayStation Home now
in VR.
Yeah, I mean, that's the metaverse. Like, PlayStation Home was the metaverse. They'd have been well ahead of Zuckerberg and the rest. And the thing is, as well, because they're just doing it as like a social hub, and they already had it, like the metaverse in Facebook's hands is going to fail because it's coming out after Ready Player One. Mm-hmm. So that's what people
also Facebook is not. It's not cool.
No, Facebook is not cool. But it's going to be compared to like that sort of thing. Whereas because if they'd have just kept PlayStation Home running through PlayStation 3 into PlayStation 4, and then it came out as PlayStation VR, and it's PlayStation VR compatible, and it's just rolled in, all you'd be doing is updating an existing thing. So it would only ever be compared to itself. It'd be compared to it like the last iteration of it. So yeah, I think they really missed a trick. There must be people in Sony headquarters going, shouldn't have closed shop there.
So are you literally looking every day to see if the VR's in stock?
No, I'm not looking every day. I'm sure I'll look again next week at some point, then the week after. I mean, realistically, if I left it a couple of weeks, I'd probably be in a financially better position to do it anyway. So that's fine.
Put a bit of money aside, yeah.
Yeah. It would be nice. I mean, realistically, if I could buy the PlayStation and tick the VR, that would probably be the best way to do it.
What we need to do when Lee gets the VR is because you can stream directly from the PlayStation 5. One thing I loved about the PlayStation 4 is that, and YouTube is so much better than the Xbox.
I've never tried to stream on Xbox.
So yeah, you can literally, so on the PSVR, you can click a button and just put stream to YouTube, and then it asks for the channel. We're gonna watch Lee play Resident Evil.
Oh fuck! Oh god!
I'll be in your ear.
It's terrifying. I did love Resident Evil though. That was such a good game. I'm so happy I went back and finished that.
You finished Village?
Yeah.
Not in VR though.
No, I haven't played. I couldn't play the Biohazard.
If we've got some people watching you live though, and you'll just have me in your ear saying it's okay.
Oh, it won't be. Yeah, it won't be as bad
okay.
as. Yeah. Well, I mean, realistically, I would feel better if we were getting super chats at the same time. I think that
we can't get super chats, Lee. We're not monetized.
That's it. So we need monetized before we like. If I'm getting publicly humiliated, I want paid.
I just want to see what what's the name, Madam.
No tinky, no play.
What's her name? The big giant vampire with the huge cojones.
I forgot what her name is, but I know what you mean.
Just think she'll look amazing in VR.
I think she'll look amazing in VR as well.
Bit tall for me, but I do like vampires.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I really I really want it. Be interested to see what else comes out for it.
We probably need
I'm
to
not-
do a show about VR before you get it.
Yeah, probably. Well, it'll get me on the hype train for it as well, won't it? So yeah, that's where I am. I'm surprised, like, because I really did. I thought it was ridiculous when that came out, and I did think to myself, I just can't see what would sell it. And at least to me, as a car enthusiast and a racing enthusiast and fan, yeah, Gran Turismo is that's a VR seller for me, definitely. Well, it has done.
And then 1 year later, after Lee's got it, we'll have a title that says, "I sold my PlayStation VR."
Probably. Oh, look, everything. I've never kept a console.
I don't understand people that keep them.
No, I think the thing is, I wish I'd kept my N64 and SNES and stuff like that because it was worth money. But I don't think I don't think the retro market's going to be there for these consoles because in a few years' time, none of these things are going to work.
Yeah, no, I kind of get why people collect them now, but I mean, back in the day, you could actually trade a game in and get sometimes 2 games or maybe another. If you traded 2 games and you get a brand new game, so
yeah, it was
like,
great.
unless you were fucking rich, which I wasn't,
Yeah,
I relied on trade-ins.
yeah. No, I
For
used
my
to trade
gaming
games all the
addiction.
time. I also used to with 360 era. I'd check like I mean, it wasn't Facebook Marketplace then. I don't think Marketplace was the thing, but it was when you had your buy and sell pages on Facebook. I'd go on and look at people that were selling games, and I did this before when I was saving up for my Xbox One, and I just bought Xbox 360 games. And then I took everything into game. I was like, I've got like 600 games and an Xbox 360. I'd like an Xbox One.
I bet they fucking hated you.
Oh, yeah. Well, luckily enough, the manager of game at the time was a really good friend of mine. And I kind of put it in. I looked at like one game. He looked at me and said, "Do I actually have to look at the rest of these games, or are we good? If I trust you, are we good?" I'm like, "We're good. You take them. We're good."
Next week, Lee, we don't know what we're going to do. But I reckon we should do a VR maybe.
VR episode next week?
Unless something happens that is like a Switch 2 reveal or something like that. We'll tickle your VR.
Xbox needs VR.
Oh, you've got it.
No.
Xbox that's the title. That's the fucking title.
No. Xbox needs VR for Sea of Thieves because it can be VR.
Why is that so funny?
I don't know.
It really is. That's a t-shirt right there. Oh my God.
Funniest thing I've ever said, and only 2 people are going to see it. No one's going to get to the end of the podcast.
No, that's next week. I think that should be the title. Xbox needs VR.
Okay, well, if anyone that gets to the end of the podcast, I might reuse that joke. Don't tell anyone.
Good. I was nearly said good night, God bless. That's another show.
You can say that's fine. It's not like
no.
alien. Yeah.
No. Can't say that.
Good night.
Good night.
Have a wank.
Enjoy it.
Don't shoot in your own face.